now I've got a team finalized. That took forever. I'm really bad at squad building for this stuff, and the requirements for this one are so annoying, but everybody's talking about that. Real quick, so we're trying out something different for the formation, just for the cup here. This is a challenge put on by the podcast, so we're all using this this formation for the cup here, really. Check out that podcast episode that's at the Foot Show on iTunes and Spotify, but we're all kind of running this one. We built this one together, like, you know, all three of us, and then Steve hosting for the for that podcast episode. But we're all giving this a try as kind of the 4-2-1-3 counter, which of course I expect every single opponent to be using. I haven't been able to get a 4-3-3 to work for me yet this year, but we've got maybe a different approach to it. It's not quite symmetrical, which normally I don't go with, but we're giving it a test. So let's see how this ends up working, and I'll see you in the highlights. All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the Maicon Cup here. Now, here's the cup games, so aside from the fact that we're conceding first, not every single game of this is going to be too difficult, and we're going to go pretty rapid fire through most of these clips, and just kind of get on through with the gameplay in the background, and I guess just talk about the game for a bit. So obviously with a lot of my Foot Champs games, I've been doing this post-com, and we've just kind of talked about the game, but I haven't really talked about the content. So we'll try to cover both, I think, for a bit here, and well, let's start with the cup itself. So a lot of people have been really, really happy with this one, and I think it's definitely nice to get on away from the existence of just kind of rivals and champs and the monotony that's been. We don't have draft, we don't have any other division system, we don't have really any other game mode to play if you're somebody like me who just likes to be online for these games, and yeah, it is definitely nice to have just an arena to step away to and play some different opponents than you normally would. It's also nice to have a different team. So it's not the ideal team, on the pitch or anything. And yet I think it makes it more of a challenge. It makes it more enjoyable. We are starting off in this 4-3-3 holding. This was a little bit ago, but one of the podcasts we recorded, that is at the Foot Show on Spotify and iTunes. We had come up with a kind of 4-2-1-3, counter. One that was meant to defend it specifically well in that 4-3-3 holding. And we tried that in the first couple games. I've already lost one. So that's perhaps not the ideal start to the cup, of course, but we're gonna go. I think we'll be about 4-1 at the end of this match. But obviously, I think pretty much. I'm trying to think now. I didn't go through and count, but out of all the 30 or whatever games I had played in this one, probably 25, 27 of them were 4-2-1-3s, which is very, very fun. But aside from that, just having a different matchmaking pool is really, really nice. I think. This is actually one of the downsides of, and I know it's a downside for me, but not necessarily for everybody, but one of the downsides of Foot Champs being less games is those additional 5 games it was last year were just 5 more games against players that were maybe not necessarily the greatest or players you'd normally face all the time. I feel like every match after match after match is the same formation against the same opponent with pretty much the same skill level and same players they're using and all of that. So definitely, they just, again, break from the monotony, and whether or not you really enjoy it, or, you're able to do a lot, or got the rewards you wanted from this, whatever happened, I think we can all appreciate at least there was something else to do on the game, because once you do, and it really does depend on your amount of time, of course I'm on the game more than most people as a streamer, but if you have the time, and you do your rivals and your Foot Champs, and then there's nothing to do the rest of the days, well, having the cup as something to go to was really nice. So I do hope this is something they do more of. I wonder if they do it all of the time, if we'd feel bored of this in the way we feel bored of the other game modes. But I think it's something that would be nice, maybe every other week, every 3 weeks, something like that. Obviously in different formats and all of that. And I think the other cup, that no rules one, the other Foot Fantasy ones with the slight evos, those are nice too. Those are definitely nice as well. So I can definitely appreciate some of the stuff they've been doing for just having additional game modes to play in the game lately. Excuse me here, but yeah, we'll talk about a teak, because I've had a renaissance with this card. I was using Maradona up top, and I've I'm sorry to this opponent, by the way, but I've well and fully and truly gone away from Maradona. We're just going with a teak now. The existence of a shortened Lean Trickster Plus player up there is just too good for me. By this point, the own goal. By this point, we had stepped on away from the 4-3-3 holding, so actually, that formation had lasted a little bit for me. I tried. I really, really tried. And I'm back to the 4-2-3-1 wide, as it were. I think I'm at 2 losses now. I think for the cup, and both of those were in that 4-3 holding. And I went, you know what? I see how this would work. It doesn't work for me, so we're just gonna move on from it. But that's okay. Obviously using a game mode with limited matches for kind of a testing ground is a little bit of a questionable decision. That's a great Elastico there from Atique. What a card this card is. I'm so happy I've got this one. Now I might still be... Great finish once again. I might still be in the 4-3 holding. I definitely do step away from it in one of these games up here soon, but Ricky Puig in there makes me think I'm still in it anyway. To talk on just the existence of all the content for this one, so obviously everybody wants Maicon, but even just some of the other cards in there, a lot of people do like that Odegaard. He's very usable. A lot of people are pretty happy about the packs that they've released, especially if you manage to save them for the Foot Birthday promo we've got now. I think just again, this is something that's been really well received, so I want to give EA their kudos. This is very easy. This is the kind of stuff they should be doing. But when they get it right, we should mention they get it right. So this was... I'm fairly neutral on it because the cards aren't necessarily for me, but that is perfectly fine. Not every card in the game, of course, has to be for me. And if you want something like this cup to be done by the majority of the player base, get everybody online and really excited about it, obviously it should be a card that's good for most folks. And just because it's not for me, I'm, again, perfectly fine by this. And the existence of the packs, we're not a bad selection of packs for some of them either. To talk on the promos lately, so we've had some of the Foot Fantasies. Like Grassroots Greats was okay. There wasn't much to talk about it, but it was an okay promo. But then FC Fantasy, I think, was such a letdown. Definitely my least favorite FC Fantasy we've had. A lot of years, those cards are really exciting with the upgrades they're able to get. Great move there from Neymar. But this year, I just felt like that whole promo was a little bit behind what it could be. That's alright, though. Going into Foot Birthday, kind of same comment on this promo as it is for the Cup, actually. Pretty much none of the cards are for me. And you know what, that's okay. Not every promo, again, has to be for me. I got one card of this one, Chloe Kelly, out of this promo, Chloe Kelly, who will be somebody exciting for me. Nobody else is. There's not a single card out of this I would use. And that is perfectly fine. Again, it doesn't have to be for me. And the fact that, once again, the community as just, community at large seems so great. Look at Atique, man. He's so good up there. Yeah, the community at large all seems in favor of this promo. And when everybody else is happy, it means people are on the game. People are talking about it well. We've got some good content coming out. I see people just generally happier in, the videos that I watch and everything. Definitely happy about all that. So again, just because the cards aren't for me doesn't mean this is a bad promo in my mind in any case. This is one of the better promos I think they've done this year. I think CR7's a little behind the curve for what his price is. The card could probably be slightly better. Or slightly less expensive, either way. But aside from that, everything's a little bit pricier this year, but they give us more rewards. Things are harder to pack, but there are more packs, so it's give or take either way, right? But a lot of these cards look really exciting. I think all 5/5 is not a bad call for a promo. I don't know how I feel about this idea necessarily, but almost having every promo have its own gimmick isn't necessarily a bad call. Grassroots Greats with the chemistry boost. Oh, look at Neymar go here. How are you supposed to defend that, man? But Grassroots Greats with the chemistry boost. Foot Birthday with the 5/5. I think there are more promo ideas they should do that a little bit more unique. Winter Wild cards with 2 releases of a card, but in different positions for each. None of those are bad calls. I think they just make each promo stand out a little bit more in our minds. So, yeah, nothing wrong, I think, with this promo at all. And once again, I think it's been very well received. Beyond that, how I've been feeling in this game myself. So, another nice thing about this cup, theoretically, should be that something like this is kind of a little bit easier for grounds for me to get some of my dribbles going. So we do see some nice goals in here. You can tell, look at Hakan go here. Great goal there. You can tell some of these opponents, are closer to your level or maybe high divisions, elite division players. You can definitely tell, but then some of these players are not at that level. And so it's nice to get some of my showboatier goals off here, I guess. Again, hard to do that in some of the other game modes sometimes. So again, some enjoyability on that side of things too. But as for the gameplay itself, I do just want to mention, I'm very confused by the actual feelings of this cup. Obviously, we're using some players that we're not used to. I've got Gold, Eder Militao, and Schlotterbeck at the back. this 86 Rafinha there. But it's still Neymar and Atik, and I'm very, very, very familiar with how those players move at my cam and my striker slot. And just the fact that, like, I don't know, the actual responsiveness of the players is entirely different. It's almost like it's got different physics than the other game modes. So it is a little bit strange. I didn't have as much fun as I wanted to in these matches, just because there's something EA does that makes these games different than everything else. And there's responsiveness issues, or it's all just heavy. You know, you can tell the jockeying's not the same. You can tell some of the dribbles aren't the same. It's not, you know, worse for me, better for somebody else. It's a disadvantage for both of us. I just wonder why the game feels so much different. So that is worth putting out there. And, you know, if you maybe didn't get the performances out of... I'm not sure why this opponent put the controller down, but hey. If you didn't get the performances out of the cup that you wanted, just definitely keep that in mind as well. Like, you had to adapt to something like we don't get to practice or experience in any other game mode. I'm glad, because this is heavier than the other ones, but like, why is it heavier? It is very confusing for me. Yeah, to continue on from here, so actually mentioning, I want to actually continue on the idea that, like, yeah, this promo doesn't have very many cards for me. Chloe Kelly is the second card in the game we have that is Press Proven and Trickster Plus. And those are my two favorite playstyles and great body type and all that. So there's one phenomenal card out of this promo for me, and of course that makes me very excited. Otherwise, the only one I have any actual chance of using for this promo is probably Marquisio. Looks pretty good, and Size 7 Tiki Taka are great there. I'm planning on doing Fridolino Rolfo as somebody to use at center mid, although if I want a CDM, Marquisio might be the way to go. He's got base press proven, decent body type, 5'5", all that stuff, so there's a chance that's a card I go for. But beyond that, like, I think just for me, it's... Yeah, most of these cards in these promos aren't for me, and I'm okay with that. And you might be a little surprised by that, because that's a change. But actually how it works for me is, like, there are only so many cards at the beginning of the year that are my style. I'm so limited on the body types. I'm so limited on the acceleration types, on the positioning, especially with rolls, how limiting those have been. But at the start of the year, we've only got, like, it's Debinha, Neymar, and Ronaldinho that have Trickster Plus. So if I want to mess around with that playstyle and kind of learn how to use it, again, there are so few cards that allow me just to even, like, learn it, right? Look at the crowd jumping in the background. They look so silly. I've never actually looked at the crowd. I guess I'm home, so they're trying to throw the opponent off. Is that what it is? And just continuing celebrating. Anyway, opponent hit the post. Unfortunate for them, but hey. Anyway, yeah, at the start of the year, it's like there are so few cards that exist that work for me. There's like Rush Neymar that comes out that's, you know, essentially just base Neymar, but slightly better. But it takes so long to get to the stage where we start getting decent dribblers for me, and we start getting decent body types and roles and positions and all that for any of these cards for me to use. Now that they exist, it's small increments of improving them, and that is perfectly fine. So I don't really care about the promos too much anymore. I will be drip-fed a card here or there, and that is, again, perfectly fine for me. You know, like the one Chloe Kelly every 2 weeks or something is perfectly fine. Just improve one position, and I'll be happy with the rest. And, like, honestly, the team I have right now is good enough to last me until halfway through team of the season or so. So, like, I don't need that kind of upgrade every day. So the fact that, like, this promo, people are going to like the Bellinghams, the Griezmanns, the Rafael Leaos, whatever. Fine. All good. I am all good with that. Whereas with some of the older promos, it's like, well, but where are my cars? Where are the ones I'm supposed to like? Where are the ones I'm supposed to go with, you know? But, like, once I get the Winter Wildcard Hazards, the Evo Neymars, I've got this Evo Atik, it's small improvements from there. Like, they're so close to the ideal cards that, like, it's really, really hard to get perfect ones from there. Like, we're going from really, really good, like, solid 8 out of 10s for what I want, just missing, like, 1 or 2 play styles, and then it's the slow bump up to the 8, the 9 to 10 out of 10s, right? But again, I'm perfectly happy with my team. So the fact that, this promo improves most people are happy with it, fine. I'm good with it. It does not bother me at all. Not to mention the fact, what a pen that is, Jorginho. I don't like how the goalkeepers work this year, the fact that the opponent did go that way. He's got a great pen animation, though, Jorginho. I wonder if we get a pen from Atik, because Atik's also got a unique pen pen animation, which is really a surprise considering, yeah, this one. Watch his look really good. Yeah, he's got, might be the same as Jorginho's actually, but again, he's a base silver card, so I'm surprised they give him a unique animation. Anyhow, we do get the save here. So I think this is our third PK shootout win. 3 for 3 in the cup, so that's pretty decent for us. Here's an adjustment. So we've got Jeremy Doku in. That is the Inform 84 Doku. And I'm actually putting him on winger because he doesn't have inside forward plus, or inside forward at all maybe. So we're trying him on winger just to kind of get a little bit more space for me to use Neymar, obviously the better card, but then Doku, get him just kind of isolated in his one-on-ones and use his pace there. But it's actually a card that does really well for me. he's been a good improvement over Rafinha, as I've been using for the rest of this weekend here. Great. I was about to say great finish from Neymar. I thought that one went in. Oh well. You see a little Doku magic on the sideline there, and of course this one should be a little bit better for me there. So anyway, I think I do get a goal finally here. I'm pretty sure this one's not a loss. Oh, am I overplaying? No, I'm not. I'm all good. There we go. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the state of the game now, with the state of my team now. And once I start getting this team that allows me to do what I want to do, I'm fine. The game's much, much more enjoyable. What's disappointing to me is just we have to start waiting till January, February to start getting these teams, right? We never had this issue before. Like, I used to just be able to put any Messi card wherever in the team. It could be cam, striker, right mid, left mid, doesn't matter. But now it's like, well, is it going to be Messi, or do we have to wait for a perfect Messi with perfect playstyles to come out, which hasn't happened yet. Not this year, not last year. Got a great little goal here from Neymar, by the way. That's really, really nice. Yeah, the state of the team is great. It allows me to do what I want to do on the pitch, and you can see, like, essentially, like, how many of these goals we're going for that are so dribbling focused. Yeah, it's the cup, so it's easier, but the same thing with my main team. The exact same idea of just every one of these players can dribble about how I want in most situations. Some still better than others. Atik is a little bit better than Hazard. Chloe Kelly's probably going to be a little bit better than Hazard and maybe Atik, maybe Neymar. Just because Press Proven Plus is that strong and none of those have that one, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean, right? So the enjoyment of the game is just kind of going up and up for me because I've got the actual players on the pitch to do what I want. It just takes so long. I miss the old days where it was like I could enjoy the whole year instead of wait for the first 7 months to actually start enjoying things. Nice little shot cancel there from Nick, a little pass over. This Neymar card is one I've got to improve too. I don't think I'm going to put a second playstyle plus on him until it is press proven, but I also want tiki-taka. Finesse would be nice, but tiki-taka is going to be the next main important one. Tiki-taka is genuinely, because you see this kind of stuff. These goals I'm going for, lucky on the rebound, but having that playstyle there is so important for this kind of tight space, in the box style I go for. You can see just how responsive this Atik is, though. I'm going to get clip after clip after clip of him, and you've seen, I'm sure a lot of you have been watching the YouTube shorts I've been pumping out lately, and this Atik is going to be massively featured in those, of course, but as it is, I think, definitely let me know in the comments here how you've done on this cup, how you felt about it, what your rewards were. If you did get that Maicon or that Odegaard, if you're using them and how they're going to do, or how they've been doing for you. I've come up against Maicon a couple times, and he is fine. I think the weird thing about that card, right, is just he's missing the playstyles you'd really want. There's no intercept, there's no anticipate, which you want definitely at least one of them for a fullback. So I think it's a little bit underpowered. I know he's got some great stats, very well-rounded, strong fullback that a lot of people like. But I think Rapid Plus and Whipped Plus aren't necessarily the best playstyles, so if you have them, definitely try them and enjoy them, but don't try to force them in your team, because I think you've probably got a fullback already that's going to be a little bit more meta in terms of those playstyles. I will be curious to hear what all of you've got to say on that, though. Obviously, there's more to him. Like, if you watch him in real life, of course, there's a bit of, not fascination, a bit of an extra reason you've got to use a card like that, right? Whereas I don't have that connection with him. He was actually a little before my time, unfortunately. But yeah, I think we're towards the end of this one. Yeah, we're right at the end, so getting into the final thoughts, I think all of this was generally pretty good. Definitely let me know what you thought of this video. We'll get on to, I guess, the unlocking of Maicon here, and yeah, I think hopefully we do just get another cup like this. Whether or not it's a player that I want, maybe, It doesn't have to be a Hazard, Marco Reus, one of those guys next, but I do hope that they give us more things like this, because, like, just to speak on it, this is the happiest I've seen the community for a while. And I know there's some rage with it if you didn't get this card unlocked or whatever, but generally speaking, just having something to get on the game for, something a little bit different. Some people don't want the grind of rivals and champs every week. If that's you, definitely I'm happy that this is something that they've given us, and hopefully they give us more of this kind of thing. So let's get on into the ending here. Well, I do hope you enjoy this little video on the Maicon Cup there. I know mine's a little bit different because I watched quite a few other YouTubers go through it, and theirs are all, a little bit more intense and all that, so I'm just trying to keep mine a little bit more relaxed, I suppose, but I'll go ahead and claim them here. And yeah, once again, do let me know what you're feeling about getting on, like how you're getting on with that card and everything, what you thought about that whole thing. Also, just let me know in general. So I've been doing, like, a lot of my content lately has been kind of this post-com stuff, so let me know if you've been enjoying that as well, because I've gotten away from the live com stuff, so if you are a fan of that, then yeah, definitely let me know which way you do prefer. But as it is, I do hope you all enjoyed. Take it easy, everybody. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one, everybody. Take it easy now. Peace.